Hey everybody, good evening, welcome to the stream. Firstly, apologies for Monday's rather kind of abrupt cancellation. Yeah, Tinternet just didn't want to work last night at all. Internet in the house seemed to be okay, gaming PC didn't want to work. No idea why. Your guess is as good as mine. Tonight I decided that I was going to try and reschedule the stream for tonight, because obviously I don't want to kind of miss a week of streaming. I know I'm on the wrong night, I know I'm probably overlaying live radio, but I obviously wanted to try and get a stream in this week at some point, because I know that towards the end of the week I'm probably not going to get a chance. I didn't even think I'd manage to do tonight because of a work thing that was possibly needing to be done. But all the kind of ideas I had for doing a stream tonight, because last week was kind of taken over completely by the role-playing game and its release. but made some progress this week as well. And as you've just seen, it's a thing. It's an actual thing. Look, I'm holding it in my hand. In my hand. Look at it. Look at it. It's there. It's a thing. It's bloody thick as well, isn't it? I must admit I was quite surprised by that. So, yeah, it has begun. The potentially sort of life-changing thing for me is that I'm now holding my own published book in my hand, and it's quite weird. It's quite surreal. There are problems with it, I'm not going to lie. It's a thing of beauty, I will say that. I will quote someone else. As far as I'm concerned, I think they've done a really, really good job of printing it off. And this is the proof copy from the company that I've tapped to do the print on demand stuff for the Kickstarter campaign. As I say, it's not perfect, so there's going to have to be a bit of a conversation with them as regards the quality and sort of things to do. But I thought I would showcase it tonight. I'll devote the first little bit of the stream, or however long that people want to talk about it, I'll talk about it basically. And I'm hoping that we can move on from that at some point. But then I'm just kind of blown away by the fact that it's here. It's actually in my hand. It may be a proof copy, it may not be the final version, but it's a physical item in my house. Wow. So what I was going to try and do was I might try and sort of tilt the camera down a little bit, and we'll have an actual proper close look at it for a little while, and just see how it's looking. The printing company, I'm not going to name them by name because I'm not entirely sure if they're going to get the contact as yet, because as I say, there are some issues. If they can resolve those issues, then that'll be fine, but otherwise we'll have to go back to the drawing board and see. It may be something to do with the PDF, to be honest with you. It may not actually be a thing. Q1, how heavy is it? It's actually bloody heavy. I'd say it's about 1 kilo. Maybe 1 kilo? I'll have to get my scales from downstairs to check, but I think it's probably about 1 kilo. So yeah, it's, as I say, it's thick. It's really thick. I mean, look at that. There's my fingers to try and make up bits. I mean, obviously it's 314 pages plus cardboard soft covers. And it's a heavy book. Now, as I say, I'll point the book. I'll point the camera down at the desk. See if I can get this right. Let's try and get the angle right. There we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I don't have to look at my belly in the process. Oh God, we would have a light flare right on where it's supposed to be, wouldn't we? Can I block the light out of my head? Yes. Still not great, but there you go. Can't even put the light off and try something else, can I? Because it's kind of in the middle. But yeah, so there it is. That's the book. Spin it round. See the back of it. As I say, it is looking extremely nice. There is a bit of a problem with the register of that spine. There's a white bar there. The reason for that is I actually underestimated how wide the spine would be. The camera's falling down. That's better. I underestimated how wide the spine would be. I mean, it's quite a wide spine. If we give you a look at that there. So that image that I've used for the spine, turn the side on for you. Is quite large. I'm sorry about this glare. I've got no other light source I can use to try and minimise that because my other lamp isn't plugged in. But yeah, so it's quite a wide spine. As you can see, it's not quite centred. That's because the width of that is actually a lot less than what the width of the image used to create that is a lot less than the width of the actual book. So yes, it's quite a thick book. So as I say, there are problems. The first thing I see on looking at it from here is the cover. If you look at the top of the cover there, you can see some streaking. The printer they've used, I don't know what sort of printer it is, has not uniformly coated the page. So either they've used a paper that isn't particularly great at taking black, or the printer they're using is not of enough quality to do proper black. So it has streaks it quite a lot, and that's a common element through the whole book. The front cover, or the front cover, doesn't seem to be as clear as I would have hoped, as well, because my name part of it, obviously being quite thingy about this, quite egotistical, seems to be a little bit blurred. Everything else is perfect, but I'm not entirely sure about the sort of bit that says my name. But as I say, at the top, I mean the bottom on this page, the bottom is fairly good. As you can see, it's just fairly consistently black all the way through. It's just for some reason this top bit on here just has got this banding of colour. You can see it quite clearly there. So that's going to have to be resolved. So I'm going to have to contact the company and see if they can fix that. If they can't, then that I'm not happy with that level of quality on it, I'm afraid. So we'll have to see what we can do. On the inside, have a look on the inside. Again, this is, you can see that's really clear actually. That's actually clearer than I can see it with the naked eye. There's a lot of banding on the actual inside pages, and obviously it's perhaps a different sort of paper that's causing it, or it's a slightly different way they've printed it, or a different printer, I don't know, but for whatever reason the blacks on the inside of the book are like this. They have this streaking all the way through, and as I say, that's not acceptable to me. I want my blacks to be black. I'm also perhaps going to have to rework this cover, this internal cover, because there's a lot of pixelization of these arrows, these blue arrows. I'm sorry about the glare there. But these arrows with the little boxes to where Colonia and the core systems are very pixelated. So I may have to rethink that and perhaps do that again. That's the lowest quality thing in the entire book, I have to say. As you can see, towards the front, the spine, this spine-wise gutter seems to work quite well. Because as we see at the top there, the folding out seems to work. But as you get to the middle, that actually works really well. So we'll go to the next page. That's clear as a bell. Again, you've got the banding. As I say, that is common with all the black blocks in this book. I'm going to have to get that seen to. If they can't fix that, that's going to be a game breaker, I'm afraid. A deal breaker, sorry. But we look through the rest of the book, and I'll be honest with you, the clarity and the precision and the crispness and the quality of the paper they've used throughout the book is amazingly nice. It is a really beautiful thing to look at. I mean, you look at some of this stuff here and it is just amazingly nice. I mean, those blacks on the text are lovely. The one thing I would say is they have cropped the edges of the pages. So the page limit I had, if you look at this bit at the top, if I tilt that up a little bit so you can see it, these bits at the top where it says Elite Encounters, that little lozenge is meant to have 3 studs in it. Oops. Pressing keys with the book. Yeah, see, that's the thing. The print company said that everything was fine, and that it would print off OK. Now I made the assumption that they would have taken the CMYK conversion into account, but they don't seem to have done that. Whether they've said, I know it has been exported in RGB. There's an alternative method of export in Scribus that lets you export it for printing, and my assumption is that that's the thing. That's the thing I need to do, because that's what's going to convert it to CMYK. Maximum ink saturation level. If I provide it to them in CMYK, would that resolve that saturation problem and actually give me deeper blacks? I'm quite surprised they haven't picked that out before they've sent the book to me, actually. But yeah, I mean, you can even see the banding on that image there at the bottom there. It's a shame, and I'm actually wondering whether there's quite a lot of the other stuff, quite a lot of the sort of pure black and white images have come out quite well, but that one's got a big black. That's actually just a grayscale image, so that may be RGB grayscale, obviously. So yes, what I may do is I may actually just convert everything to CMYK format and see if I can do that through Scribus. If not, I'll convert each and every image, which will be a bit of a task, but for quality purposes it needs to be done. So I'm contemplating running it through Drive-Thru-RPG's processing, just to see if they can give me any feedback on what needs to be done. So yeah, so as I say, the clarity of the images here are really good. The clarity of the text is amazingly crisp. There's no pixelization of anything that's on these pages at all. So obviously I've provided high enough resolution, and they've printed off at the resolution. I mean, now we're looking at some of the line drawings that are in there as well. I mean, these are line drawings from PNG format, and these are pure black and white anyway, so they're coming out nicely. There is, I have noticed, and I noticed this in the print offs I did at home as well, is that there's a slight off grey tinge to it. It's almost like it's got a bit of a red shift on it, so it's a little bit on the red, rather than what I would appear to be pure grey. Again, that might be the RGB conversion. I'm actually finding that the overall quality of the images is very similar to when I just printed it off from a home, not from a home, but from a high capacity home PC, a home printer. Again, internal page, it looks really nice, but again, we've got this banding across the bottom. It's not as bad on the top, and this is the funny thing, it's not as bad on the top, but I think you see that there is quite a lot of saturation on there, which is a shame. So yeah, as I say, I'm not going to keep going on about it, but yeah, that's the big problem there. Now I have noticed on some of the images, the contrast isn't as good as it was on the electronic versions. So again, I'm going to put that down to the saturation levels, and possibly, again, it's the same as it was when I printed it off myself. So as you can see there, the pure black and white stuff has come out lovely, clear and crisp, and it's gorgeous. And the contrast on it is fairly respectable. The full colour images are a little bit, I don't want to say that it looks like it's bled, but it is possible that's what the problem is. It's maybe a little bit of bleeding because of the big blocks of colour. This key here and the planet, the system overview pages, I'm not happy with at all printed off, because with the PDF you have the option to zoom into these images and you can read the text very well, but on paper, because you can't zoom in, I need the text to be darker. I mean, I know you probably can't see it very well on there, but the text, the white text is absolutely lovely, absolutely gorgeous and clear. The rings are fine, the colours are okay. It's just when you go to the grey colours that I've used for the station icons and the station text, and some of the labels on there aren't as clear as I would hope. So I may have to revisit them and just rejig the colour scheme on them slightly and just clear them up. But other than that, I mean, as I say, the planets themselves, the sun, the outline is really nice. It's come out really well, so I'm quite pleased with that. We're having difficulties again. I've just noticed that we're having difficulties with stream again. It's blanked out to a red box there, but it's managed to kick itself back in. I'm going to keep recording. I'm not going to keep going about it. I'm going to keep recording this part of it because I'll put this up on YouTube anyway, and it'll be part of the main review. So next we've got the big thing to look at is obviously the main selling point of the book has always been the centerfold images of the ships, and here they are in all their lovely glory, and they look really good. And again, that center gutter, when you're at this point of the book, which is roughly the center of the book, it actually goes really well. You get the full image of the ship, and it has worked absolutely amazingly well. So I'm quite pleased with that. And I'm actually looking at, obviously, while I'm doing all this, I am stress testing the spine as well to see how good it is. And because the weight of the book does pull it over, but I'm bending the spine around and it's not separating, it's looking like it's quite firmly stuck together. So I'm quite happy with that. Oh, Commander Moon Shadow, hello! Red mixed with black is supposed to make a truer black. In process colour, all colours are used. Also consider saving images as TIFF and most definitely convert to CMYK. And then you can adjust accordingly. Leading up to the print is a bit of a blunder because if they're reusing a quick conversion, gamut goes out of whack. Thanks for the advice, mate. Yeah, I was actually having that feeling. I did manage to do a little bit of processing. Everything's PDFs. Not PDFs, PNGs. And I have, yeah, I did have a feeling that something would have to be done about the image processing levels. So I mean, as I say, look at the clarity of the image itself. The lines are crisp and clear. The text is lovely. I mean, all this stuff is an image. Even this bit is an image, all exported through Inkscape at high resolution. So it has come out extremely clear. It's just this black thing. So yes, what I may do is I may look at the export options for Inkscape and for PDF and see if I can export to CMYK format. Alternatively, I'll use my image processing software to export it as CMYK. Right, okay, that's what I've done then, that's what I'm going to have to do. Is there a printer profile you can use to proof the gamut? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, I think Scribus actually has printer profiles. That might be worth doing. Well, I don't need the transparency because on a PNG, all the PNGs I've used in here are block background colours anyway. The only PNGs I think of... No, I've not even used that. The PNG export I've used for the character sheets obviously has a bit of transparency on it, but not in the case of the book. In the book itself, because there is already the background stuff there, I've actually used proper white backgrounds. So I don't need to use PNG, but PNG is a small file format, and obviously because I'm looking at some limited space, because I'm actually backing this all up on Dropbox, because I have quite a lot of background files, and these files are huge, by the way. I mean, they're way above 1080p. PNG doesn't let CMYK. Okay, well, I'll find options. As I say, if it needs to be TIFF, then it's TIFF. I'm just concerned about the file sizes. If that means I can't back up the whole thing, then that's essentially what it means. It has to be the case. So, would that resolve some of the... I've got some problems with darkening. I mean, that image, for example, I mean, the contrast on screen's a lot better, but TIFF or EPS. Okay. Some of the contrast on some of the darker images, like some of the federal ships, for example, like that one, for example, the Type 9 is the worst one. Let me just fly onto the Type 9. Type 9, I mean, there's a lot of detail lost there on the image. Again, you get the purple blowback from the camera, sorry. But again, you can see that banding there quite badly. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of detail lost in that image. Is that down to the PNG? File blating. What does file blating mean? You're all using like industry words that I don't know, because I haven't learned this much about publishing yet. So as I say, the quality overall, I mean, look at that. I mean, these are really nice. I don't know what I've done differently with these, but these are printed out perfectly. There's no banding on them at all. These are the ship information cards. Straight looks like it's coating drying probably. Yeah, it is bad or something, but these pages look okay. I mean, that's the miniature files, and they seem to have printed off without any banding at all. They've come out lovely. And as I say, there's the exported PNGs from that. So black and white stuff prints off absolutely perfectly. I mean, look at that. That's absolutely gorgeous. So as I say, there's some elements of it, but there is some banding on there as well, actually, looking at. So the file size will bloat. Bloating, right. Yeah, that's my worry. Obviously, if it's a file, if it's for printing only, then I'm not too worried, because I can just export that and send it to the printer and see if they can do that any better. I don't have to necessarily give that out. The version for screen is obviously a lot better. Now this is one problem that I do have, and I'm going to have to bring this up with the printer as well. So obviously, because they've resized these images, resized these pages, sorry, you've got the that thing at the top obviously has lost its third little dot, which is right on the edge of the page there. You've lost about half a centimetre across each edge of the page from the look of it is now gone. And that means that if you want to use the pages within the book as source for your GM screen, then you're going to be missing part of the image in the middle sections. So that's not ideal. Yeah, I'm glad you liked that. It's a good idea. It was an idea that I was throwing at the last minute. The design is the same design. This little thing is the same design I used for the Elite dice that were given away as part of the Kickstarter. So I'm very, very glad actually that they've been approved as part of the book, because I was really quite keen to keep those little templates, because it just gives you a more complete book, and it's a little thing that people remember the Kickstarter through, I hope. So yeah, that's the book. A physical copy. It's not perfect, like I said. Some work to do on getting that ready, so it's not going to be as quick as I was hoping. I'm going to get in touch with the Kickstarter guys in the next couple of days and just let them know that there's been a bit of a setback with the print-on-demand stuff, if they haven't done it. Was it built with bleed accounted for? Safe areas, yes. I did build trim areas into it to make sure that none of the actual content fell off the end. But the only part of it that hasn't taken that into account, I mean, it's perfectly acceptable the way it is, because as I say, nothing is lost on the edges of these images at all. Because I made sure that everything was central on the page and there was a decent amount of space all round, at least a centimetre all the way around. So there's loads and loads of space for everything. See, that's as much space as was there. So it's only the pages for the GM screen, the Lore Master screen, Commander screen, whatever I called it. That are going to be affected by it, but then they're not really there to be printed off anyway, they're just there to be reference pages. Cardboard pencil spinner. I don't like them, I never have. They always seem to be a bit cheap. So, there you have it. The first ever physical copy of Elite Encounters. Proving to me that maybe taking 100,000 words out was a good idea. Because that is a huge book. That is quite a thick book. It's actually just as thick as the ED RPG, which I wasn't expecting. And as I say, the page quality is about the same as the ED RPG. So I mean, as I say, I'm happy with the weight of paper that's been used. It's going to be quite durable because of the fact that it's that. I'm not getting any ink rub off on my fingers at all. Even when I'm using slightly damp fingers. So the print quality itself is pretty good, which is what's making me think that if I rejig the graphic format, then we could be in a better place to hopefully resolve that. But I will speak to the printer and I'll see what they say, and if there is a way we can fix this, and if this banding is because of the saturation levels or the graphic format, then we'll get that sorted out hopefully. But for that point, we're okay. As a first attempt, it's pretty good. It has that thing where you can see where each section of the book is on the spine, or at least on the side, because you can see there's the 60 pages of ship sheets, because it's black. That's what I've always wanted it to be like that. So yeah, and again we'll need to resolve the spine thickness, and I'll supply them with a thicker spine so they can put it in place properly and get it sized right. And yeah, so yeah, quite pleased with that. Just one, as I say, it's just that one problem. It's just the colour balancing, and which I'm pretty sure, given your comments so far, guys, that the colour balancing is what's causing this banding across the blacks. But everything else, you know, I can't fault at all. And they've done a good job at short notice as well, because it's been a 2 working day turnaround for it. Pretty good stuff. So I'm going to put it away for now. And we'll get on with hopefully something else, whether it just be talking about shit or playing shit. What would you prefer? I would assume playing shit, because that's kind of what you come here to watch, but you usually come here on a Monday to watch. So right, let's get everything in place that needs to be in place before I start this chisel. Yeah, I'm hoping so, Garzini. I'm hoping it's very simple things that I can fix. If not, then what I might do is I might go through DriveThruRPG's proofing system and use their feedback to tell me how to modify my file, and how to do it the easiest way possible. Garzini, subscribed again! Wow! Thank you, dude. Most appreciated. So yeah, my mouse don't work anymore. Right, let's tilt my camera back up to look at me, which is what it should be doing. That's actually pretty much spot on, isn't it? That was lucky. Shall I zoom out a little bit? Yeah, I'll zoom out a little bit, that's fine. And I'll mump it back down to... hang on, let me come out of studio mode for a second. change Dave Cam 1 back to 800 by 600. Still a bit scarily large actually, that'll do. Save. Go back. Studio mode. To stream layout. Yeah, that's looking fine. Okay, so I'll go back to the intro screen for now, while I get the game set up. Doing that. Not already. Keep forgetting to do that. Dipstick. Right, so let's fire up the game and actually get into it. We can do that in the background while we're talking about stuff for a change. So yeah, it's been an exciting day. I mean, as I say, even with the little problems that we've got, I'm still stoked that we've actually got the book sorted. That we've got a physical copy of it. It's actually a real thing to me now. Looks like we're having some problems with that streaming thing again, and I've dropped completely now. We're obviously still recording at this side, but we'll just have to wait and see if we can get back onto the reconnection.
It's not an easy thing to meet your maker. What can he do for you? In the making, you will make this world we will make you, but not to last. The light that burns twice as bright burns half as long.
Let's just flip around to the gaming screen for the moment. Here we go again. Oh, it seems to have flooded itself back on now. As I say, I'm not going to faff around with it. If it's not going to be stable, then I'll just do as much as I can tonight and then try and stream. And if I can't actually get a stable connection, then I'll just give up at some point. I'm not going to keep talking about it all the way through. Better than yesterday, better than what was going on yesterday. Yesterday I couldn't even get on at all. I wasn't sure at one point whether it was Frontier being down or me being down. It meant I couldn't get into Elite. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll record as much as I can this evening, and then I'll
welcome back, Commander.
I'll chuck it onto YouTube anyway, no matter what I do. It's just I need to get to the bottom of why this is happening, because this is just the last few weeks. It's just constantly up and down. I don't know if it's the internet connection, or if it's Twitch, or if it's the software, or if it's the computer. Wow, it literally just dropped from 250 to 2,500 to 0. It's up and down.
All
just,
onboard components have
subtle.
passed system checks.
So here we are. It seems like it's been a long time since I've been on here. So what I was planning to do, and I was planning to have a bit of a puddle around the INRA bases. I've looked up where they all are, and I just wanted to go and have a look. Essentially, I mean, I've seen Hollis Gateway Hermitage. No, I'm using the clandestine stealth Cobra. It's the same one I was using last week, or the last time I was actually streaming this actual game. Because that was my Thargoid hunting ship. I'm using this because it doesn't have any weapons installed, and I want to go and visit the INRA bases, so I'm going to have a look at those locations now. Open galaxy map. I've muted thingy. No, I haven't. Open galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
So I was thinking about going to Stewart Retreat. Okay. Hip. 15329. 15329. That's not far away. That's what I thought. Close galaxy map.
Frame shift deactivated.
Closing map.
Raise landing gear.
Retracting landing gear.
From what I can tell, 6. Jump. 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 Jump.
Charging frame shift drive.
Wow. Jump.
Disengaging jump drive.
There we go. How far away are we? 13 jumps. That's a bit shit. I think you mean Monday, dude. Welcome again, Arakzak. How are you doing? Jump. Jump. both are good enough. That's an interesting question, Gorzini. Depending on who you ask, it's either research or reserve. Now, given what's been found so far in the game about INRA, I would say that the generally accepted term is research. Jump.
Engaging jump.
However, there is a possibility that the name Intergalactic Naval Reserve Arm was used at some point. Now, whether it was used initially to set up the organisation and then change its focus later, or whether it was a research arm up until such time as they found a weapon and then turned it into a semi-military organisation after they shut everything down. It's entirely up to your imagination at the moment, because I have no idea. I know essentially what it was in the old days. Or I know approximately what it was from the context of the games in the old lore, put it that way. But what it is now, who knows? Tower restart, it's not refueling. Jump.
Frameshift drive engaging.
It's interesting to listen to some of the, or read some of the logs that have come from the bases, because it gives you a lot of insight into the research that was being done and the way it was being done and how they were keeping it quiet, and how even the people that were working for INRA at the time, who sound like essentially scientists and commercial entities and bodies.
Afterburners maxing engines.
Not a lot in the way of actual military involvement, which takes away the whole thing from the naval research or naval reserve. There doesn't seem to be a lot of actual military terminology or military focus on the work. It's all science. Jump.
Jumping.
That's an interesting thing to say. I mean, I don't know what Frontier, I mean, apart from the stuff that's in the book from the RPG. That's all the lore that I really kind of know at this point, because they are changing quite a lot of what we knew from previous games and turning it into something different. And there's also the stuff, obviously they've put stuff into this game that maybe means something, maybe doesn't mean something. What they're going to do with that, I'm not privy to. And even if I was privy to it, I wouldn't be able to tell anybody. But I'm not. So I can speculate up the wazoo, and I know I don't know anything, so anything I say is speculation. We have now gone officially past the point where I actually know anything. It's not you, Arzak. It doesn't matter reducing the resolution at all. it's me that's the problem. There's something at this end is blocking things. Jump.
Jumping.
It's not you, it's me. I'm just not in the right place at the moment. I don't have full bandwidth for our relationship to continue.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system.
Completing system scan. Stand by. Gathering information. Cartography has now been updated.
Jump.
Preparing for jump.
Now I'm going to say I'm probably not going to be streaming my usual length of time this evening. The reason for that is that, well, there's quite a lot of reasons for it actually. Essentially, I'm on my own this evening apart from the wife. Mrs. Selezen is on her own downstairs completely. Normally when I stream on a Monday, I have made a deal with my son Derry to take over my carer duties while I'm doing this.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system.
Stand by. Scanning now. Compiling data. Cartography update complete.
Yeah, so... But the problem is, obviously I missed last night, which wouldn't have made any difference because tonight, he's not here either. He has gone to Edinburgh with his girlfriend for a few days on a bit of a dirty midweek. Which, all kudos to me, is exactly what I did when I was getting together with my girlfriend, when I was popping my cherry, shall we say. That's probably far too much information for you guys. But yeah, he decided to take his girlfriend on a holiday up to Scotland, see his old stomping grounds and the mother country, as it were. Jump.
Engaging jump drive.
And he's having a great time by the sound of it. But yeah, it just basically means that me and Anna are on our own, and if I'm not looking after her, then there's no one here to look after her. So that's really missing. Yeah, I'm glad I couldn't be here for you tonight. That's all. But the plan is this evening I'm probably going to knock off a little bit early because she wants to do a few things. We're trying to instigate a new era of trying to do things that get her mobile and get her more integrated with the world in general, because at the moment she sleeps quite a lot during the day. And we're having this plan at the moment where we're trying to see if we can sort of have a shower in the evening so that she's maybe more tired because of the shower in order to be able to sort of relax a bit more and see if it helps her sleep patterns any. So that kicked in sort of this week, and we're trying to do as much as we can to try and get that going. And Tuesday is one of the days where this is what was meant to be done, but obviously because yesterday ended up being a bit of a fuck over. Jump.
Engaging jump drive.
Then we're where we are with it. So yes, the plan is that she's going to probably do all that kind of stuff about 9 o'clock, but we'll see what happens, and if she needs me she's going to give me a shout. So if necessary, what we'll do is that if it's going to be a while, I'll either quit the stream and then sort of go on to another day. Or we'll just, because of the connection stuff as well, obviously it's going to be one of those things where we might just have to leave it until next week. So I'm going to have to try and spend the week investigating what's going on with this connection. If there's anything at this end that's causing it, then I'm sorting it. I give brilliant massages. I'm great at massages. People only scream a little bit when I do that. My plan is we're going to get to this this place, this INRA base, Jump. Jump. Boys, go to this INRA base, have a look around in the SRV. I have got an SRV up there. I'm not entirely sure I've got an SRV now, thinking about it. I thought the whole point was making them go limp. They're supposed to relax, muscles are supposed to unwind. I don't have an SRV. Shit. Scan the system.
Completing system scan. Stand by. Gathering information. Cartography has now been updated.
Jump. Jump. Well, it seems to have stabilised a little bit anyway. Oh, bump up to a little bit higher then. As I say, it's not anything to do with your incoming resolution that's the problem. It's my outgoing resolution that's causing the problem, because it's everyone that's getting it, not just you. So, if you're having some connection problems as well, then obviously it will help slightly. Scan the system.
Stand by. Scanning now. Compiling data. Cartography update complete.
Jump. Jump. Doesn't seem to like the word jump. Scan the system.
Completing system scan. Stand by. Gathering information. Cartography has now been updated.
Jump. 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 For sake. So, I'm not really going to do much with this base. I'm just going to land the ship somewhere near it and then explore it with the camera, I suppose. But what I may do is, when I have a full stream, like a proper Monday night stream, scan the system.
Stand by. Scanning now. Compiling data. Cartography update complete.
A3C. Open system map.
System map.
A3C. That is right, isn't it? A1, 2, 3, A, C. Close system map.
Closing map.
Yeah, so I think what I'll do is when I've got a full stream, I might investigate. I might actually go back, get an SRV, and then do the bases one by one through the however many there are. There's 6 at the moment. There could be more at some point. More by next week. Yeah, but the plan is I'll stream next week. I'll do a full stream dedicated to the actual Elite Dangerous game, and no idea what you guys are talking about. Dropping a few frames every few minutes, but it's not anywhere near as bad as it was before. So, fingers crossed we can get to the end of the stream without it dropping anything serious. Yeah, so next week, hopefully, we'll start at INRA Base 1, and then we'll go from there. Might not manage it all in one go, but we'll get as far as we can. Just missed it, didn't I? No, believe it or not, I didn't. It was completely independently arrived at. I didn't even think about the Call of Cthulhu link until you just mentioned it there, actually. Although subconsciously maybe that's where I got it from. I don't know. But yeah, that's that was something that I actually thought, given that quite a lot of odd stuff can happen in space, I thought it was a good idea to stick it in there. Because the way that I've noticed a lot of RPG players play is they will play along and they'll see lots of scary, weird shit, or they'll kill someone and their jibs will fly everywhere. And unlike sort of many games or a lot of sort of fictional depictions of people that deal with these sort of things, it is quite traumatic. So the thing that I was thinking about is that there's got to be something in there that says if somebody ends up wading through a load of dismembered corpses or attacked by Thargoid zombies or something like that, then it's going to shake them up a little bit. Or if they go through a major firefight, you know, PTSD and stress and all that kind of stuff has an effect to real people, so why not have a mechanic to deal with it in game as well? Actually make the stories about people. If you're doing people stories, then it's one of those things that I think is quite an important thing to add in there. So yeah, I'm quite keen to see. I'd love to see some people playing it. That is one of the things I really want to do. I was going to sort of go into what the sales have been like for the book. I mean, we're doing quite well on sales. We've had we have Up and Drive Through RPG. In the first couple of days, we had 14 sales. It's kind of quieting down a little bit now, but we're still going on. That's the thing. I mean, it sells in drips and drops. There's not a lot of stuff coming through the store at the moment, but then the main publicity drive is gone, and I've kind of let it slip. So I need to push various different mediums, and I'm getting things in progress at the moment, but nothing's actually really coming back as of yet. So hopefully once word spreads, then we're looking good. I mean, some of the sort of potential sales on the figures, because Drive Through RPG has a fairly detailed breakdown of what's happening on their site for some of this stuff. and they do a breakdown of what's in people's wish lists. Even if you're a publisher, they'll tell you what's in people's wish lists, which is nice. So what we're looking at, minus 62. So I'm going exactly the wrong way. I've never used this coordinate system before. To navigate, so and 44. I am Arnold, sorry. that it? North looks like we're going the right way. Boost.
Afterburners engaged.
Boost.
Afterburners maxing engines.
Starship Troopers, that does sound likely. I think a theory of passive resistance. Ah, you see, well, yes, the you've got the exact reference there, Starship Troopers. Because I was going bug hunting. Which if you've seen Starship Troopers, you should get the reference. The reason I'm doing it in the Cobra is because I wanted to grab a ship that didn't have weapons, but I didn't want to strip the I didn't want to strip the Python out. "62, 61, 44, 26. I should be almost on top of the bloody thing. HIP 15329. 15329 A3C. A3C. Coordinates -62. -44. Fuck. Super Cruise.
Preparing for Super Cruise.
You guys do your thing, I don't give a shit. I don't care. So you guys have got a Space Hall Death Watch, have you? Indeed, so do I. We should team up sometime. Have a bit of a play. Heading the right way, roughly. it is. Deploy landing gear.
Landing modules deployed.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff lying around here that you can pick up. Obviously you could pick it up if you had a thing. SRV. I didn't bring one, did I? Yeah, if you're a good enough pilot. Yeah, it's because now and again if you nip behind something, like if we've got an object between you and the ship, then you can sometimes get a bit of blurring. It's the anti-cheat measure to stop you from looking at stuff you shouldn't be looking at, or looking through space stations, that kind of thing. So that would be the laboratories, possibly. Everything looks like it's been crushed. There's a ladder. It's over that side. Well, if you want, I can read out the log entries from this base. This is base 2. I don't have long. Once they realise I'm gone and the data has been copied, they'll send their attack dogs after me. I know they will. But someone needs to show the galaxy what the INRA really is, what it's doing, what it's hiding. Part 2. I'm sorry for the part I've played in this, truly. I was a researcher at a facility in the Hermitage 4A system exploring agricultural applications of Thargoid-derived technology. The lab was owned by the INRA. Publicly, the INRA likes to emphasise the whole altruistic and cooperative thing, but in recent years it's become much more focused on weapons testing and manufacture. Believe me, it's a military contractor in all but name. Part 3. The nature of my field was the study of disease-resistant crops and mycoproteins, that sort of thing. I was getting good results, even if my superiors took no notice. Then everything changed. I was running a bunch of control experiments, just trying a few things out really. It was an afterthought, it wasn't even related to the main body of my work. The results were interesting and I didn't think they were particularly significant, but something made me take it directly to one of the INRA guys. I didn't want to go to Dr. Prince, she'd always been pretty dismissive of my work. I would do anything to be able to undo that decision. Anything. Part 4. All my equipment and samples were whisked off to some remote facility. Later I found it had been taken to a weapons testing site in the Alnath A2AA system. My research was used as the basis of a new superweapon designed to destroy the Thargoids. I heard they experimented on live captives. I doubt any of it was strictly legal. It certainly wasn't ethical. To the public, the INRA is a symbol of all that is possible when superpowers set aside their differences and work together. Well, it might have started off like that, but it's something very different now. Progress at any cost, might makes right. All our worst impulses channeled into an unaccountable organisation focused solely on making bigger and more powerful weapons. Bigger and more powerful weapons. God. If you find this, if someone finds this, make sure it gets out. Please. It's time people knew the truth. There you go. This is base 2. An agricultural research facility in all but name. It's an interesting story. I mean, the way that they've revealed what INRA did. I mean, we knew the majority of what INRA did and why they did it, and what they were aiming towards and what they eventually did. It's all part of the law and has been for years. But it's still interesting to see it actually play out and find out the exact nature of what was going on, and what was the plan, and how people were affected by it. And I like the fact they've taken it down to a kind of personal level with these logs. They're quite a good idea. Only in name, yeah, that's maybe... That's what I meant. But yeah, it's interesting to see the logs. I wish there were more of them. There were more of this kind of stuff, like different aspects from different people and different levels of the organisations that were part of it. And I'm hoping more of that stuff's going to come out, and I'm hoping it's going to be given the depth it needs, because God, this game could do with some depth. I think it's amazing that they've actually started putting some history together now. And actually touch on some of the stuff that happened in the ancient past. And it does start to answer a lot of the reasons why some of the decisions that were made regarding the RPG were actually made. Why I wasn't allowed to use certain things, why I wasn't allowed to focus on certain areas of history. And I suppose we'll see. I suppose we'll see where it goes. Yeah, it's a lovely pan back, isn't it? Well, on that, I'm going to call it a night tonight, guys. I'm just really enjoying this pan back. I'm just going to keep going with the pan back, and I'm going to say good night, at least verbally, and I'm going to leave it to complete the pan back, because I'd love to get it as far panned back to see the ship. Oh, stop fucking doing that. So, yes, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, so I hope you've had a good time. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. It's been a bit short, I know. I'm going to go and see if I need to do all the kind of stuff that I need to do again. And then I'll get on with the kind of admin side of stuff. So we're going to call it a night there. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I apologise, it's a day late and a dollar short. But hopefully we'll be a bit more on cam next week. The stream did seem to settle down towards the end. At least now I know it's not just Monday nights that caused the problem. Oh. Thank you guys for watching. And I'm just going to say, there is a name in the viewers list there that I'm not sure has been watching all evening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trip back onto this camera just for a second. And I'm going to do this. And see if he says something. Hello Stephen Curry. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, a hard copy. The first proof copy of it. Watch the YouTube stream back. Indeed, Garzini, potentially, if he wants to speak up and say something there. Welcome back, by the way. I hope you've enjoyed TwitchCon, Mr. Unicorn. And yes, I will call it a night for this evening, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone, and good night.